Hi.
We're broadcasting. Hello, Internet. This is Irate Prostate here with the lovely Vanilla Bear. Say hello, Vanilla Bear.
Hey.
And the one and only needs no introduction, Aiden Paladin.
Hey, what's up?
Groovin'. Well, it's an honor to have you show up. I was really surprised because I just said, hey, I'll just throw the link, see if anybody pops up, and I'm really grateful you popped by so I get a chance to talk a little bit of just ideas and and see what's going around.
Absolutely.
It's been a very I don't know, a very eventful past couple of weeks, as on YouTube and in the in the news. I don't know, just having a Sunday fun day and just seeing all kinds of fun stuff. And once again, I want to say hi to Lindsay at Queer Kid Stuff. It's nice to just send a greeting there. I kind of do that.
Yeah, so. What a nut job, man.
Yeah. Well, it's like we kind of broke the code on it about it being, a pedophilic, grooming type channel, and now they're getting political. So it's not, with their deals, like when I see it, they're just trying to create a whole a new generation, because I think that what they're seeing is that this current generation, and maybe the one behind them, is a lot more right leaning than they would like to have. So they're focusing on toddlers,
Yeah, I mean that's terrifying, but yeah.
And get them, slinging hammers and sickles and shit, and it's like so, expecting, 15 years, we'll have a whole bunch of, freshmen, bisexual communists, entering the college system. So,
well, that would be what their goal is, essentially, is to. I mean, it would make sense because they've tried it, and they've gotten away with it a lot.
Mm-hmm.
They've got to now. Maybe move younger because Generation Z is not putting up with it.
Exactly. And that's kind of like my deal now. Is like I'm really focusing on protecting children, when it comes to the political commentary stuff.
Yeah.
But I'm also like a big horror movie freak, and that's where my attention's starting to go. I just saw this fantastic movie called Raw. Have you heard about that?
No, I have not.
Just check it out. It's a fascinating. It's a French movie by this female director named Julia Ducournau. It's the very first feature-length film, and it's about this girl named Justine who goes to she's of a strict vegetarian family. And she goes to veterinary school, and like her parents did. And as a matter of fact, she's got a sister that's a sophomore there. And so it's a freshman. They go through these hazing rituals, and one of the rituals is that she has to eat I believe it's a kidney, part of a kidney from a rabbit. And she resists, but her sister says do it, and pops it in her mouth. And after she consumes the flesh, she starts going through these reactions and stuff, and it culminates in the only way she's satiated is through cannibalism.
Oh, okay.
And it's fascinating the way that the movie's constructed, and the way that she deals she doesn't, people will come out of this movie and they'll say it's the grossest thing they've ever seen, but it's not that gross. It's kind of like if you ask somebody that's seen the movie Halloween, and they'll say, "Oh, that's the goriest movie," but there's not any gore in it at all. And if you watch it, next time you watch it, pay attention, because there is no gore in it at all. Maybe there's one scene where he sticks the knife through the guy in the doorway, and that's it. But there's no blood hardly at all. But that's what she's really good at. And the way she uses music, that's the third time I watched it, that's what really I figured creeped me out the most, was the way the music was being used, and I saw what she was doing with it. It's really nice stuff. So it's I can't recommend it any higher, and it's available for rental right now.
Oh,
so,
nice.
Yeah, check it out, and if you don't like it, I'll give you $5. Okay.
What's it called again?
It's called Raw, R-A-W.
Oh, okay, yeah. All right, let me check it out then.
I'm sure you don't mind if you read what you read. You don't mind a few subtitles, do you?
Oh no.
So,
no, I actually I don't know what language it's in, but
it's French.
French? Okay, I don't speak any French, but I actually put subtitles on no matter what I'm watching. It doesn't matter if it's in English, doesn't matter if it's in another language. I have a really big I really have a difficult time actually watching things without subtitles. It's because I grew up watching foreign films. You know, now it's the point where it's like I really don't like to have movies without subtitles.
That's strange. My wife and I are the same exact way. That's very strange. Yeah. Whatever we watch, and we have subtitles on just to see, because a lot of the stuff that we watch is British, and Vanilla Bear, some of those accents, man, are just, especially when they're like whispering or mumbling, I can't hardly understand, what they're saying. So
I struggle. Even I struggle.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And you've got a strong.
Jason Statham is the worst because he's got that deep voice, and
Yeah.
I can't understand him most of the time. But then you're looking at to me it's fitness, so.
I
just like it. Because then even if it's you do understand it, but you just like miss a line, it helps to have that, I think.
Yeah.
Exactly. So because I like to know what I'm watching. Because my dad, he's deaf as a stump, and he's 78, and he'll watch the same shows that I do on TV, and when we talk about him, he is like he's in La La Land about what what he does is he fills in the story, because it's just shit at reading lips. Mm-hmm. So he makes his own narrative, man. It's funny as shit. So.
Oh yeah, my grandmother used to do that. Yeah. When she was still living at home with us. It's kind of like what we would do is we'd be watching. We'd have Fox News or whatever on, and we would be talking about whatever the news story is. My dad and my family would be talking, and she would just burst out, be like, "Oh, did you hear such and such happened?" Because she was reading the scroll at the bottom. So it'd be something totally unrelated. She just said, "Oh, look at this," and just jump in like she had an idea of what was going on. Bless her, man. She was a good idea.
God bless you. See, speaking of like uncomfortable, have you ever seen the movie American Beauty?
Yeah, years ago.
The first time we saw that was with my wife, with her grandmother.
Ooh,
right,
yeah.
And her grandmother's sitting in between us, and the first scene of the movie is this guy like spanking his monkey.
Yep. For years, in a totally different direction, for years I hated the movie Anchorman. It's not like it is at this point like now probably one of my favorite comedies ever made, but it's because I saw it in the theaters with my dad when I was 15, and it was just like, ooh, no.
Embarrassing.
Right, exactly.
Man, I'll tell you this. I know we were talking about some. I'm not going to go there. I just. But yeah, some other good, horror stuff that's really out there. Some weird Japanese stuff.
Oh, that's my area.
Have you seen Uzumaki?
Yeah, Uzumaki's good because it's based on what's his name? Junji Ito.
Manga,
got the same name. Anything in Junji Ito is great. Uzumaki is crazy and amazing. I always tell people to check out Shiraishi Koji as a director. He did Noroi the Curse, Karuto, and Occult. Now that is confusing because Karuto means cult, and it's just the Japanization of the word, and then Occult is a totally different movie. But if you like Lovecraftian kind of stuff, very weird, then check out Shiraishi Koji.
I love Lovecraft. Occult.
Occult and Karuto, and then also Noroi the Curse. All of them have the elements of Lovecraftian weirdness in them, but particularly Karuto, K-A-R.
What's the director's name again? Spell it, please.
Oh, it's Shiraishi Koji, so S-H-I-R-A-I-I-S-H-I, and then Koji, K-O-J-I.
Okay, Koji. Okay, cool. That's awesome. So, so we've had a nice little exchange of weirdness. So, I guess you've seen Three Extremes.
Oh yes.
You know some of the classics there. Have you seen any of Polanski's The Apartment trilogy that he did?
I'm really, here's the thing about horror. I'm actually really ignorant about horror that's not Asian.
Okay.
I'm very I mean, I've seen like some of the classics, but for example, like what have I never seen? There's a bunch of like classic American horror in particular I'm completely just clueless about.
Yeah, and that's a good thing in a lot of ways. You know, there's because it's just so formulaic now.
Yeah, that's been what drove me. That's what never interested me in it, I should say.
I hear you.
And I've liked some of it. No, I mean, I've liked some of it, but it's just always kind of, you know,
yeah.
It took me away in some measures.
You like Cronenberg?
Cronenberg is who? This is how I always think Cronenberg's Alpha. What David Cronenberg is? Oh, The Fly. Yeah. The Fly. Yeah. Scanners. Scanners is a fucking
Scanners. Yeah, exactly. Anything that he's done, any of his early stuff is just fantastic. Dead Ringers is a really subtle but just Crash. That is a trippy movie, man.
Oh, okay.
It's about people that can only have sexual thrills during automobile accidents.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah. So it's like, oh, okay, man.
Yeah,
yeah, exactly. Let's see. But yeah, the Polanski, the trilogy, it starts out with Repulsion, and then Rosemary's Baby, which is
I love Rosemary's Baby. That's
that's the second one in the trilogy, and then the third one is the best. It's a movie called The Tenant, and I highly recommend that.
I had no idea that was a trilogy.
Yeah, they're not. They're all. It's because they're all in apartment buildings. That's the thing that kind of ties them all together. The weirdness of the neighbors that you don't know but or the ones that are banging on the ceiling. When you're just barely walking around. It's that kind of thing. I know you got some neighbors that drive like loud motorcycles and stuff.
Always freaking fun. Yeah, I'm getting severe. I really need to move the fuck out of here because it's like there's a creek. Okay, so what it is, there's a highway, and on the other side of the highway is a creek. So guess what I get? I get flies all during the summer and little gnats all summer long, and I get these shitty cars. And in the summers, they all decide to drive their motorcycles around too. And they were loud as hell. I just ordered, because I don't know what else to do, I just ordered a bunch of foam to try and mitigate some of the audio disruptions. But I don't know how much I can do. I'm going to have to just paste it all over the window. I don't know.
The window is really where it's going to come in through the heaviest. Yeah, it's because it's the thinnest. It's acoustically, it's real reflective acoustically, but when it comes in straight, it's almost transparent.
Right. Yeah. I just bought some acoustic foam to try and mitigate some of the sound. But honestly, what's going to happen is I'm probably going to move in the next 6 months, 3 months, something like that.
That's awesome.
I'm going to try to be closer to my dude. See if
that's right. HB, how's he doing?
He's good, I think.
Yeah. See, I watch him every night before I go to bed.
I know, that's how I am.
He's the one you take to bed with you.
Oh, well, that's how that started, actually. It was months and months ago now, like right when he first started, I found his channel and he had like, less than 10,000 subs. And it got recommended to me on YouTube, and that's what I would do. That was before he was streaming, so I would just listen to his videos before I went to bed. And now, I guess I fell in love with the voice, man.
Well, and you know, and he's really when he, you know, I like the way he makes points, and he reads, you know, that's what I love about news on YouTube. It's like I end up telling my mom and my dad about stuff, you know, 6 months before it happens.
Before they find out in the mainstream. Yeah, I know. It's crazy,
all
right?
this Debbie Wasserman Schultz, you know, threatening the DC cop and stuff. You know, it's like, you know, we were reading about that when it happened.
I know, and only now you're starting to hear it. I'm like, I keep seeing it showing up on the news. I'm like, yeah, that's really old. Yeah. Why are you just now finding out about this? It's right. I mean, well, I know why they're trying to hide that shit because they don't want anyone to know about it.
Burying it, trying to bury that shit deep.
Oh, because it's damning. It absolutely is damning.
Man, they're all over this Russia shit, man, and they have got a gold mine that dwarfs Watergate. I mean, if they really open this thing up, man, it would be amazing. I mean, we'd get blown away literally by the shit. I mean, because every time I read, you know, the Podesta emails, it's like I'll just like go, okay, I want to hold my breath, and you know, and I end up reading, you know, like 30 or 40 of them because it's just so weird, man. Some of that's just like, you talk about Lovecraft, man. It's like,
oh my god,
it's time for pizza. Creepy shit.
That made me jump.
Vanilla Bear, are you familiar with all that stuff? The John Podesta emails and that came up through WikiLeaks?
No.
Yeah, he was the guy that ran the campaign for Hillary Clinton, and a bunch of his emails became public last year, and there's so many of them. They're still going through it, and we're learning something new all the time.
I think I did hear something about that, but I don't really pay much attention.
Yeah, well, there was this one that came out, I think it was on Friday. It was talking about Judicial Watch released it, where Huma Abedin had said something about her having dinner with Soros to make him happy or something like that, and Lynch's name was in this chain too. I thought that was interesting. I'm sorry. I see. The ADHD is really bad with me. So.
Oh no, not at all.
When I'm trying to, it's like I had no idea that you were really going to pop by. So it's like because I would have prepared. I'm not prepared for Aiden Paladin, man.
No, it's all cool, dude. No, I'll pop by whenever. Like I just saw that you had thing of it. I was like, yeah, I'll stop by, man.
Yeah. And I figured, you know, it's like, well, I don't want to, you know, get serious with her, you know, because I think I had said something about whether you liked horror or not. So I knew that was probably something we could, you know, talk about without, you know, getting a little, you know, without getting heavy or, you know, depressing and shit with it. I love the French stuff because have you seen Martyrs or Le Vide?
What's the French movie I saw? What was that French zombie movie I saw that was all right? It was a little bit more relationship focused. Contagion or something like that. Saw it on Netflix. That's an indie
flick. And Contagion is really good for an indie flick. I mean, that STD kind of thing.
Yeah, that is it then. That's the one where it was like it was an allegory for STDs. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking of. I don't know, man. Like Mutants. Did I watch that? That looks familiar.
Martyrs is the one you want to see.
Okay.
That'll blow your brains out. That and Raw. If you had to watch two tonight, those are the ones I would tell you to watch.
Yeah, I'll write them both down. Okay.
Yeah. And then the Polanski stuff for when you're like feeling like getting like weird.
Well, I like weird stuff. Generally speaking, I do.
I love my brain scrambled. Just scramble it.
Oh yeah, that's exactly how I feel about all that stuff. It's like the more like, okay, so here's my quick rundown or my opinion on horror, is that you can show me a spider monster, and if I'm terrified of spiders, it's probably going to disturb me on some in-depth, metaphysical level, because it's like getting at something in me that scares me.
Yeah, primordial, right?
Yeah, but you're scaring one person with that. Not everyone's afraid of spiders and snakes, even though we have evolutionary reasons for being afraid of them. They don't still bother everybody. What you need to get at, so you've probably heard the, this is just not just in horror, but in literature in general, is and film, which is show, don't tell. I think horror should be neither show nor tell. It should be only implication, because your brain has more terrifying ideas than anyone else could possibly imagine. So if so speaking of Japanese horror, have you ever seen what's it called? Tetsuo the Iron Man. I mean, even though it's such a great film. Yes. Yeah. It's just absolute body horror, but so much of it is left unanswered and unsolved that your brain is just trying to comprehend what's happening. And going into, I mean, there's that's a 30-minute movie that has a scene where a guy fucks another dude with a robot dick, and it is extremely graphic, but also not at the same time. That's what I mean. Like, you gotta give me something where I have to fill in the blanks with my confusion. And yeah, our minds are far more disturbing than anything anyone could ever put on film.
Right, and I think that's something that a lot of people nowadays, especially, have. If you want to talk about an innate fear, is the fear of going crazy. That fear of madness. Lovecraft really just he had that wrapped around his finger. He knew that, and
because at the time when he was writing, it was Orson Welles. It was, these grand sci-fi stuff. And he was, of course, writing from more of the perspective coming out of Edgar Allan Poe being his largest influence. But he was like saying this technology thing that's happening, which is why Lovecraft, even in his time period, feels out of place, because it feels like he's writing from a totally different timeline, in that he thought this whole idea of humanity can prevail. We'll find some technology to solve any issue. His thing was like, no, hang on, what if we can't? What if there's just something that's so far outside of our capacity to comprehend that it just breaks your mind to even that the human psyche can't even deal with it, and it just that's why I liked Lovecraft, because we don't even see enough of that. And there's this guy, if you've ever seen him on YouTube, Plague of Grapes, who did a 3-part animated, or sort of animated, series. They're like 15, 20 minutes long. It's about an hour investment, where he talks about horror. I think it's just called Let's Gripe About Horror. And I agree with him on almost every level of, like, it's better to neither show nor tell, or if you're going to show the very littlest bit, because your brain's way crazier than anything anyone could come up with. And you'll fill in the blanks, because we all are afraid of going crazy. And sometimes, a great film too, that I know that they made a TV show out of it, but The Mist, based on Stephen King's book, was great because it didn't show nor did it tell. I think it actually told a little bit more than I would have liked, but I liked the fact that it was like, we're not going to explain any of this. And we're not even going to show you, really. And now,
it's like The Birds.
The Birds is great too, for the same reason.
Right. You don't know why they did. What the fuck happened? I mean, exactly.
That's what makes classic horror, is being confused. Because actually, what I think really what horror is not being really able to understand what you're looking at.
Exactly.
It's really scary. It's like, I don't know what the hell's going on.
I love The Mist, the movie, and oh god, have you seen any of that TV show?
No, I haven't watched it. I saw it when it got announced, and I was like, ugh, what's this?
Oh my god!
Why would you ruin such
it's interesting. I think as the older he gets, Stephen King is like, he only puts a seal of approval on stuff that and it's like, I don't know, man. I think he's putting his seal of approval on a $sign now.
Well, I mean, why not? Honestly, at this point, you're like you're the most successful. You are the most successful from that standpoint horror writer who's probably ever existed, just from a financial standpoint. I mean, in 100 years from now, Stephen King is going to be as well known as Edgar Allan Poe. Yeah. I would, maybe not as he's not maybe necessarily be read in literature or in English classes, but maybe.
Think about that. That's that whole New England school of writers, that whole horror, it's like Lovecraft, Poe, Lovecraft, and then King. I see it exactly the same way. That's interesting.
And the other really great American horror writer currently working still is Clive Barker.
Oh yeah,
genius.
He's a Brit, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. I think. Yeah. He's from Liverpool. I had to look it up because I thought he was, but I had to double check. Yeah, Clive Barker is great. Some of his really his his even like non-horror stuff, or less horror stuff. Like he actually wrote a series for children.
Really?
Oh yeah, it's called Aberrat. It's fantastic.
Oh, you know what? I saw that in the store one day, and I saw his name on it. And I said, "Oh, it can't be. He wouldn't do that."
A series for a young adult series. It's for young adults. Yeah.
Oh, it's a YA. Okay.
Yeah, it's not children. It's YA, but it's fantastic. It's there's a couple of them, I think 4. But yeah, he's fantastic. I love all of his stuff, Clive Barker, and the comics that he's both written and have been adapted from his work are excellent. I never actually saw the Midnight Meat Train movie. I really bad.
It's great. I loved it.
Is it?
I had a ball. Well, if
the
you
book gets really weird, or the story gets really weird towards the end. So
it's. I don't know. I give that a pass. Have you seen any of the stuff from the 80s, the Lovecraft stuff, the Herbert West Reanimator?
Oh, I love Reanimator, and I love
From Beyond.
From Beyond's good. And what's the other one with my boy Sam Neill? Something of Madness.
Oh, In the Mouth of Madness.
Mouth of Madness. Oh, such a good film.
That's Carpenter. That's Carpenter's. Yeah. I think that's his secret masterwork.
Oh, no one ever knows that movie. It's so bizarre because first of all, I love Sam Neill, and then it's like every time I mention Sam Neill, the only movie that anyone ever knows him from is Jurassic Park, and it's like you are missing out, my dudes. Because what's
he played Damien, the grown Antichrist, man. Yeah. Oh man, that was such a good movie.
He's such a great horror actor. It's funny because the first movie I ever saw him in was I'd maybe look it up to know exact year because I forgot it the year it came out. It was a made-for-TV miniseries called Merlin. It came out in 1998, so I would have first seen Sam Neill, which means it came out after Jurassic Park, I believe. So Jurassic Park came out in, let me see, 1990. Oh, way after. So I wasn't allowed to watch Jurassic Park as a kid because it was too violent. But I was allowed to. I had all kinds of. My mom was really weird about movies when I was a kid, where it's like if she liked it, she didn't care. So I'm gonna say I'm 3 years old. The first time I ever saw Life of Brian, for example.
I'm sorry.
Okay, there's full-on nudity in this movie. There's all kinds of sexual jokes, and no, my mom and dad, they didn't care at all. I mean, they showed me all of Monty Python they introduced me to as a kid. My dad used to play me these albums, and now I have them stuck in my head, so I can't ever. Actually, I quote them all the time, where I make references to Fire Sign Theater, which was a series.
Oh my God.
Yeah, they were a comedy group that made albums between the late to mid to late 1960s, and my dad used to just play them for me to the point where now, as an adult, I can't not repeat them if I start to hear one. We'll be at the Thanksgiving table, and something will come up that will spark some Fire Sign reference. And I'll sit there with my dad, and my stepmom will have to say, "You have to shut up," because we'll just start repeating entire 30-minute monologues back and forth. But they were fine in introducing that into my brain. But I couldn't watch Power Rangers. I couldn't watch Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I wasn't supposed to watch things like Dragon Ball Z. I wasn't allowed to watch Jurassic Park. But in 1998, we got the made-for-TV show Merlin starring Sam Neill. And I think that besides having a crush on Spock from the original Star Trek, that was the first time I ever found a guy attractive was Sam Neill. And then I realized he's a fantastic horror actor. So when I got older and I went to go see Event Horizon and shit like that, and Mouth of Madness, I was like, oh my God.
Oh, Event Horizon.
Such a great film.
Oh my God, that is so beautiful. That is the perfect, it's like next door to Alien.
It's way up there. That's another one that doesn't get the attention it should. I think because it's so weird. It's just so weird.
Well, and and there's scenes of him in hell that they cut out.
I know. Oh, this is why you need to watch Karuto.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, is he on YouTube?
I'll have to find. No, I'm saying this is Shiraishi Koji's movie Karuto. I think it's. I always get them confused. Is it Karuto? I even get them confused. Karuto.
I was going to say I have not insane or anything you want to.
It's Occult. It's the movie Occult by Shiraishi Koji. Is the movie Occult with an O. Yeah, that movie came out in 2009 in Japan. There's a scene at the end where it's very, very, very reminiscent of Event Horizon, where it's like, without spoiling, how much do you care about spoilers? Because I'll tell you.
Look, you can spoil anything. I'll watch it 5 times.
That's how I feel. Spoilers don't. There's actually a lot of research on that, which is, interestingly enough, people who tend to be like less need for cognition, to people who don't care so much about high levels of information, they tend to they don't care about spoilers. Actually, sometimes it improves their enjoyment of a movie if they don't care about having tons of information thrown at them. But I mean, I'm a very high need for cognition person, which means that, as usual with statistics, aggregates show something in general, but not for every individual. Because I'm high for need for cognition, and spoilers don't bother me at all. Actually, I like them. The movie is it's about this guy, and he's clearly been he's become in contact with some sort of Lovecraftian entity, some space squid thing that's going to, it's going to be the end of Watchmen, I guess. The space vagina is going to come and attack the Earth, or he's in contact with it. And at one point, they even find a rock that just says Cthulhu on it or something. It's like a secret cult that worships Cthulhu. Like I said, nobody knows about these movies because they're so weird in Japanese. But at the very end, like I won't say exactly what happens, because I do think that the end is a little bit of an interesting twist. But at the very end, he comes in contact with these great gods that he's been worshiping, or that he thinks are going to lead him to a higher existence. And it just ends with the most bizarre, freaky. Oh, it is on YouTube actually. Occult 2009. I sent you a link. I think it's all on there. I might rewatch it. But just like these worms squirming all over the film. And he's just screaming, "It's hell, it's hell, it's hell, it's hell." And one of the greatest scenes of horror I've ever been like, yes, this is, reminded me exactly of Event Horizon.
That's so cool. Yeah, I was going to say, because I think it's on YouTube. There's somebody that put the whole scene that's cut out of him in hell. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And it was like, holy, I was like, I downloaded it and cut it in with the movie version that I've got.
Oh, absolutely.
So I love fan edits and stuff.
No, yeah, that's another movie where it's like every once in a while. I mean, this is always a problem where you get. This is why I tend to like Asian horror or non-white Western horror, I guess, more accurately, because they tend to be sometimes under scrutiny, but it's under different scrutiny. For example, the Chinese mainland, it's actually, is it Taiwanese or is it mainland China, or is it Hong Kong? Now I gotta remember. It's called Gwaiwik, right? Right? Yeah, Gwaiwik. I always get them confused. I don't speak Chinese. Yeah, Gwaiwik, Recycle, which is an anti-abortion movie, but it's because they were following a certain narrative, they could just do crazy shit with huge production values. It's Hong Kong too.
Oh wow.
And it's called Recycle in English. It's called, actually, describes it as fantasy mystery. I would describe that as absolute horror, because some of the stuff in that is very disturbing. And because it had the right narrative of the anti-abortion plot, which doesn't come until the last 30 minutes of the film. You don't get how heavy-handed the anti-abortion story is. Yeah, they just let them do whatever they wanted. Man, I love that kind of shit, though. That always makes... I mean, I don't like that they had to force in this anti-abortion story, but I like that foreign cinema seems to be more open to it.
Yeah, definitely. That's interesting, because you've got this Eastern kind of sense ability, and you've seen stuff that I haven't seen, and then I'm like this European,
That's interesting. Yeah, we need to talk. We'll have to talk more about because I haven't seen a lot of French or Europeans. Some Spanish movies.
Yeah,
I've seen.
yeah. Oh God, yeah. There's. Have you seen The Skin I Live In?
No, what's that?
Antonio
Oh shit.
Banderas.
Oh really?
Oh my God, it is the best. He should see it. It's a Spanish movie, and he should have an Oscar. I mean, for that movie alone, it's like Hitchcock at his best.
The cover looks like a Hitchcock film.
Yeah, it's just so. Oh my God, that movie is just. Yeah. Yes. Yes.
I'll write this one down too. This looks really interesting.
It's fast. It's fantastic, and it is so weird. And by the time you realize what's going on, you're like at the end of the film, and you're going, "Holy fuck, holy fuck."
Oh shit! Okay.
It's one of those. It blows my mind, man.
Well, that sounds great. I'm always down for shit like that. I mean, I was thinking, like, like Del Toro's done some real stinkers, but but nobody ever remembers The Devil's Backbone, which I think is probably his best film.
that's the first thing that popped in my head. And I like Pacific Rim too. I love this. My dad took me to all those Godzilla shit when I was a kid, man. I went to the drive-in every Friday and Saturday night. My dad would take me to the drive-in, and we would watch. I saw Herschel Gordon Lewis, man. Some of the I saw Night of the Living Dead at the age of 6.
Oh, well, probably. Actually, here's the thing. Like I said, my parents had no consistency in like what are you not allowed to watch and what you're allowed to watch. I think I probably saw Night of the Living Dead around the age of 6 because Night of the Living Dead was filmed about 5 miles from where my dad grew up.
Oh, wow.
So he was all like, "Oh, you got to watch this shit," And even though I was 6, and it gave me nightmares. It gave me nightmares for years.
Oh my God, I couldn't sleep for 2 days.
And it's this is. So I'm not sure how old you are. So this would have been like 1996.
I'm an old fucker. Trust me. I'm probably old enough for your dad, man.
But my point is, like, this was 1996, and that even though that movie was filmed after most movies were going to be filmed in color, and that was intentional. But like you show a girl in 1996 a black and white movie, and it absolutely had every effect that it was intended to have. In terms of that movie terrified me.
I know. I still dream about that scene in the basement with the girl.
With eating the meat? Or you think, oh my God, man, that still messes me up.
That trowel, that trowel. It was like, oh my God.
I think it's something about the black and white and being some of the images were obfuscated. This again goes back to that initial point of like when you don't quite I can't quite make out what I'm looking at, my brain will fill in all the horrible things.
Yeah, it's that asymmetrical composition that you got going there. And it's so skewed to, your brain holds on to it, I think.
It's trying to figure it out. It's like it's trying to figure out like
makes sense. Out of insanity.
There's an interesting thing in the way that the right and left brain communicate. So like when you initially process information, this is visual, auditory, all types of information that our brains processes. It first goes through the hypothalamus, and then the hypothalamus essentially determines where is this information going to go. If it's more sensory information, emotional information, it's going to go into the right brain first. Now, everything has to kind of go through the right brain first in general. But what if it's information that we need to store? It needs to be stored in the left brain. So the left brain is, what has us access our memories, mathematics, things like that. So I think part of the information is that, like, when you talk about people who have PTSD, a lot of what PTSD is a improper storage because the hypothalamus goes into what some therapists call you would know this one. It's like crisis mode. It's like, I don't know what to do, so shut off communication to the left brain because
fight or flight, right?
Yes, because we need to go into fight or flight.
You go in a circle,
right?
Right. I can see that.
So you can't start processing that hardcore left brain information because we don't have the time. We're too upset about what's happening, and for a survival perspective, it's not logical to be processing things more rationally. So I think like part of that is that in horror is that like if it's terrifying you and you're like, oh God, what is this? Is then what happens in response to that is that those memories are not stored properly in your left brain because there's a lack of communication between the two hemispheres. And as such, your right brain stored that information wrong, which is a lot of what happens to people with PTSD. If you know anything about eye movement desensitization and reprocessing, which it would be like to try and get the right and left brain communicating about a memory or something like that.
Have you read much on the locus ceruleus and the amygdala and how they play in with the way we react to fear?
Not a whole ton. I'm not a clinical psychologist. I know nothing about clinical psychology beyond tertiary.
Yeah, the last seminar I went to on the brain was like 10 years ago, and that guy just blew my mind. It was my degree. I've got a bachelor's in fine arts with a minor in psychology, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like I'm a painter, sculptor, blah blah blah, and I ended up going into the psych field, to work, and I worked for 17 years as a therapist. So, you get it, that kind of gives you a picture of how my brain works, because I don't know if you found this to be true, but I discovered, and this is just an opinion here, that most people that study psych in college are there to like cure themselves.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, absolutely. Why else would you be interested in it? And this is something we found in comm. So I'm actually not in psych. I technically am. I'm a media psychologist, which is bullshit. But I came into media psychology out of communication, and every time that we do these big surveys of comm scholars, and we ask them about things like communication apprehension. So like, how comfortable do you feel speaking in public? And are you nervous when you're around people? It's like 85% of them. They hate people. They don't like communication. Well, yeah, that's why you went and studied it, because you don't understand it.
Right.
You're trying to fix yourself, right?
Right. Well, see, I
have been sat here patiently waiting for the last.
Alex.
Oh, sorry, my dude. Hey,
I am so sorry.
Aiden Paladin, did you come here to specifically make me feel stupid?
No, I didn't even know what was going on, man. I just came in to bullshit for a bit while I'm working on a video.
You're an actual intellectual on the fucking stream. Good grief. It's nice to finally meet you, Aiden.
Hey, yeah, I've seen your shit for a long time, my dude. Nice to meet you.
And now you're here to just ruin me intellectually, I'm sure.
No.
I'm having an orgasm here, man.
No, here's the whole thing. We need to intellectual conversation. It needs to have everybody with input. All I can really do, I'm really not that intelligent. I'm just I'm learned. It's just different from being intelligent.
You have said at least 50 words that I now have to Google.
Yes, he will Google and he will write it down.
The closest thing that I come to when it comes to intellectual stuff is electronic warfare. That is it. I'm not none of this sociology, psychology stuff. All this stuff blows my mind.
It's just interesting to me more than anything, and it interests people like us on YouTube too. Which well, that's worked out well for me.
That's when I can understand it, Professor Aiden Paladin.
I am a professor. I don't like people call me doctor because I haven't earned that right. But professor, you can do that. Technically, is correct.
Well, there you go. See, above my pay grade already.
No, not from a financial point of view. They don't pay me fucking anything, dude.
Well, it was like your psych. So your psych stuff is basically rooted in research.
Oh yeah, I'm a research, entirely research oriented.
Did you not do any kind of clinical?
I had to learn how to administer the Weiss IQ test, but that was like for extra credit kind of. Well, it wasn't for extra credit, but it was for a research component that I had to fill in undergrad. So that was 8 years ago.
Dude, I used to have to score those old MMPIs.
Oh my god! I can do the Myers-Briggs. Or is that what you're talking about? Like I used to have to do that for my old job when I worked in HR.
Multi-phase.
Well,
the old
that.
one. 600 questions and shit.
Oh shit! Yeah, and then I had to. I forget some of the ones they used to make us do for the HR stuff I used to do, where it's like we had to, it wasn't just Myers-Briggs. They had a whole battery of tests that we had to administer that, like, I'm not even talking about the weight and the more intense IQ stuff, but also just like, oh, personality, are you going to get along in our organization? Like completely pointless tests that mean nothing, that peer-reviewed research shows over and over again don't have any real effect on anything.
Well, aren't they really just looking for people that are going to go shit up the fucking place when they get fired?
They're trying to.
You may be able to shed light on a test that I took for a job, and they were trying to test my personality traits. So they were trying to put me in a box.
Right.
Probably Myers-Briggs.
Four different major traits, and one of them, I landed in the pragmatic section.
Oh yeah. Shoot, it's been
I don't know what the name of the test is called.
No, that sounds really familiar. These weren't things that I got taught in school, so I kind of like relegated them to pointless information. So they went to the back part of my brain. Yeah, I think that sounds familiar, though. Generally speaking, all those personality tests are really worthless.
Yeah, I had no idea why they made me sit it. They tried to make me sit it a second time as well, because I didn't fit into any of their boxes properly. But I was like mostly pragmatist.
Yeah, prostate, I guess that's weird to call you, but I think you're mostly right in that they do that to make sure in part that you're not going to shoot them up if they fire you, but in part it's to see like if you are going to get along with the corporate culture. The interesting thing is that the only job I ever worked for where I absolutely hated the corporate or the culture was where they didn't make me take one.
Oh.
So that I know it's not that's an anecdote, obviously, but they I worked for this very stiff. All the men wear suits every single day. It doesn't matter what you're doing, you wear a suit every day. The women all have to dress like it's literally Mad Men, and I hated it. I just despised it because I'm so schlubby in comparison. And
so, you love the laid back atmosphere of academia.
Exactly. I like that very much. Now, if you're a little bit too schlubby around here, then one of the professors, I won't name names, but he will come by and be like, "Oh, you're wearing that today? I see." Hey, one of the most published people in this entire field of research, and I do mean the entire field, not just something stupid like media psychology. If you look up top communication science or communication studies professors, he's in the top 10. He is very catty.
Yeah, I think I know who your boss is. So.
Oh no! You might. No, not my exact boss. My exact boss is like the nicest guy ever. But both of them. But yeah.
Yeah, you're the one that takes credit for everybody's work.
No.
I'm not gonna. I will not hold you to that. So I will not let you answer that question.
I've been pretty honest about a couple of things involving my where I'm at, and I don't say anything rude about anyone, which is I think why they don't care. I also don't say things that I can't back up with research or data, which is another reason why I think they don't care that I do this. That they're kind of like, all right, you want to supplement your income with now. It's not right or nice to be a conservative on the internet. They're not supposed to, or anywhere, I'm sure. We're not supposed to be a conservative. That's a naughty thing.
Aiden, I think as a collaboration effort between you and I think you should give me active therapy.
I can't do that. I cannot do that.
Record like 10 1-hour hangouts. I could put some nice graphics overlay, edit it and that, and then I think that would be quite interesting, actually.
I can't do that kind of stuff. I have no ability to do anything more on the practical side of psychology. I'm a complete researcher, which means that I'm pointless.
But my daddy issues.
My daddy issues.
Tell me about your mother. How do you feel about that?
Oh man, I couldn't even do it like as a joke. I would be so bad at it. Because this is the whole thing. I remember when I first started to go into psychology, because I have 3 undergrad degrees, and one of them is in psych. The other 2 are in public relations and organizational communication. And I remember when I was to get my psych degree, which was the last one I got, and they were like, "Oh, what do you want to do with a psych degree?" And I was like, "Be as far away from humans as possible. I would like to put them into a glass box and poke them with the stick, but I don't want to be near them. I don't ever want to hear anything that you have to say." Oh, that's again this whole thing of like, why do people go into it?
Dislike people.
Well, I think that's the whole thing, is that if you go into shit like this, you've got to have a little bit of self-hatred. I think anyone who entertains, no, seriously, this is real. Like, comedians will tell you this all day long. Is anyone who goes into a field where the point is to entertain others, you've got to have a lot of self-loathing, because why else would you want to seek external validation?
Does that mean I have a lot of self-hatred because I'm a good entertainer?
Maybe. I'm not saying necessarily, but it's certainly what we see as a proclivity. I certainly do, or at least maybe not self-hatred, but at least you have. It's an aversion to social interaction in some way, because when you do the more public social interaction, it's like, oh,
I hate it.
I'm doing it somehow externally.
Right, in reality, like person to person, parties and shit.
I can't do parties. I can't
either, man. See, I'm a recovering alcoholic, so that'll let you know.
Oh, dang, I'm not in the recovering part yet.
I'm one of them. He can't be an alcoholic. He don't go to meetings.
Oh, dude, yeah, no, that's how I'm trying to like ride that shit out. It's just
I heard that, man. My liver's like so hard I could probably break stone with it.
That's how probably I am.
Yeah. Oh, dude. But yeah, I've been sober for a while. So what?
No, good for you. I am envious in a way. The one thing is that like it helps me get shit done. I wish I could still buy weed here, because that also, if it's the right strain of weed, I could get way more shit done. But I can't find anyone to sell me any marijuana.
Well, now, see, I have chronic pain from surgery. I'm all fucked up, man. I've got anyway, and I really would love the option to treat it with marijuana, but I don't have that option.
It's almost like it's an easy solution to a really complicated problem that we could treat with just a thing.
I think Hard Bastard was talking about that last night before I went to bed, man. It was like, dude, you're singing my song, you know? Yeah,
he also has a lot of pain problems. His back is really like fucked up. And I can only do so much, you know, with back reps. That only does.
You knew where I was going to go with that, didn't you? Come on.
I can only do so much, but much rather just have a marijuana prescription that I could just go, and like as long as I can control the strain, because like it's this sativa or the indica?
Yeah, that's the speedy kind of like clean your house shit. Yeah.
Yes, that's what I want, because then it would like it would get me a little bit more on point, because otherwise what I do is when I write I have to be completely sober, but once I'm done writing I want to be a little bit fucked up.
Right. That's where the indica comes in. If you didn't get a good hashish, you'll get that dual kind of threat out of it.
So if I had indica, and so you're saying if I had the sativa to help me write, and I'm already writing okay, but if I had, it's the getting out of the writing phase, because I've got all of these scripts that are written for videos, and then it's the problem where I have to like go record it and then edit it that end up being the problem. Right.
It's for the editing, you'd probably want an indica, so you could.
Because when I used to have
artsy and fartsy and shit on it.
Yeah, it really like helped me out with that, of being like, I just zone out for a bit, and then it turns out really funny, actually. Or at least to me. When I'm sober, though, again, it turns out funny. So if I thought it was really cringy, I would apologize. But it's like, oh, okay, that turned out all right. Otherwise, what I just do is I'm just drinking too much, which is I've been a functional alcoholic for about, functional in quotes, 8 years, 7 years, something like that.
Hey, man.
I have a martini glass in my avatar for a real good reason.
Well, it's like, my joke is that, I'd have that drink, but it's like I gotta be home for Thanksgiving, man. Because I usually, when I take a drink, I usually wake up 3 months later going, what the fuck happened?
Oh shit, man.
Yeah.
I'm one of those. Bad. No, I'm a real functional person where I require just a constant, very low consumption of alcohol to be productive and rational. I mean, I remember the first time I went to work intoxicated, and I was like, oh, I'm so worried about this. And I was like, oh, it's fine. I was like, nobody can tell. Everyone thinks I'm actually way more entertaining now. I'll just all the time. Man, that's not a good thing to do. That is not. And I'm not talking about at the university. I would never have done that. Absolutely not. I don't teach or do anything like that. Now, teach, quote, on YouTube, quote, teach, yeah, absolutely. You're not getting me not a little bit toasty for me to.
That's right.
Be doing this shit. But I don't go in front of college students. No, I mean, here's the thing. They're probably all drunk.
Yep.
So what am I doing? Honestly, on some level, like, why am I elevating my standards for you, motherfucker?
Exactly. Well, there's state-dependent learning too. You learned about that, I'm sure.
Oh yeah.
So it's like when I was in school. I went to school. I smoked a joint before every class. And I took every test on, and I did really well.
I don't think it really hinders anything. Now, I'm a big proponent of that kind of shit. I'm real libertarian. I'm all no step. Don't fuck with me. If it helps you, it helps you. If it doesn't help you, well, then you fail. Oh, well. Sorry. I mean, shit, you're too drunk to... and I've had to kick out drunk students before who were just going crazy. It's like, you gotta leave, man. You gotta get out. Yeah. And or they were drunk or stoned. I don't know what the fuck was going on in their heads. They get crazy and you gotta kick them out. I've had it happen during tests, which is in terms of, I don't know what it was like then, but like in terms of the standardized tests that we give at universities now, we do have to really, really try to make sure that it's standardized. We can't let any student walk out with a copy of the test, because you know what they do? They go and make a copy of it and they send it to all their friends. Can't let that happen. We have to number all our tests. It's a really huge issue. Now, when I was a TA, for example, one time I remember we didn't have a complete number of tests that came back. It was like out of 400 and only like 399 came back. And it was a massive ordeal of like, oh no, some student found the test. Now we have to rewrite the entire testing system.
Dude. But that sucked.
Oh yeah. Well, it didn't suck for me so much as it sucked for the professor when I was a TA. But yeah.
You didn't get that relegated to you?
As a TA? No.
Oh.
As a professor, yeah, that would have been relegated to me.
I've seen some lazy fucking professors, man. And it's like they'd load everything on their TAs, man.
We can't do that anymore.
See you later, man.
Oh no, I mean, I'll relegate a ton of shit onto my TAs. I don't actually. Here's the thing: I've been one, so I'm not a complete bitch about it. So it's like, look, I understand that your job sucks, but as such, I'm not going to really give you much to do. I understand that you're also usually a graduate student or a master's student, and you don't want to you're already busy and you're probably very upset and disturbed. So I'm going to try to give you as little work as possible.
You're nice.
Well, people like me.
You're too nice.
No, it's not too nice. It really is that, generally speaking, master's students, they have a lot, and they're not used to it because coming out of an undergraduate degree program, I don't care where you came from, you're not used to the amount of work that's going to go into a master's degree program, at least as an active master's degree program. You're not going to be used to that. So I'm not going to try to, why would I do that?
How much publishing do you have to do in your field, during the master's phase?
A master's phase, you're generally expected to produce one piece of published research.
Okay.
Doctoral,
so there's
that's very different.
Yeah, that's like a book.
No, we expect you to produce a book as your doctoral thesis, and then on top of that, you should produce probably between 5 and 10. Well, depending. You know what? No. I'll be very nice. 1 and 5 pieces of published research as a doctoral student. 1 and 5. If it's less than 1, you're fucked. If you haven't produced any fucking research, you're done. Bye.
Dude. I miss academia. I'll be honest with you. I do miss that bubble, because, I would talk, my wife and I talk about this a lot because, it's like everything, back in, when I was in college, I was a Democrat. I was a liberal,
I was never a Democrat. I was always a libertarian.
Well, yeah, actually, I voted libertarian. I'm not going to tell you when I voted for the first time because you'll know that I'm an old motherfucker, man. So we'll just guess. But yeah, I voted
Well, I'll tell you this. I'll give you a little. I'll give you a little bit of history. Where I live, my godmother's brother ran Libertarian here in this town in, I believe, 1978, something like that, in this town. And he ran off of the dude weed Lamau principle.
Yep.
Which I agree with, but come on, man. You got to have more than...
You got to have more than that. You got to have a foreign policy at least, you know?
It can't just be weed, my dude. And that was just local government. And even people, and the people here in this mountain state, you think they give any shits? Nah.
No. Yeah, that's when I first heard of the Libertarian Party, it was right around the 80s, the early 80s. And it was like, that's what attracted me, you know, to it, of course, at first, you know. And then it was like I started, you know, reading, and it's like less government, and I'm like, yeah, that sounds really good to me, you know, because I don't know, I was just you know, came through the Carter years, you know, and then we went into Reagan, and it was like you know, people were saying, oh shit, everything's going to get bad, and I was like, everybody was making money during, you know, I was like, I didn't understand it. You know, why did everybody hate Reagan so much? Because everybody was like getting rich, man. I think at one point in time he made like you could buy art and deduct like half of the price that you paid for it.
Probably.
Right? Yeah, and the rich people were like buying art up like it was cocaine or something, man. I mean, it was just like, you know, I actually made money as an artist back then. And
well,
go ahead.
No, I mean, that's really interesting to see that difference over time. Right,
and you see, everybody's like, the first thing the Republican, you know, want to do now is you know, the art is like, it's useless. Boom, get rid of it. Whereas Reagan, see, he was an artist. He was an actor. And I think that's probably where part of that came from. And, you know, that was probably Nancy too, kind of.
Right, though, but that's what differentiates. That's what differentiates potentially, like Republicans from conservatives. Conservatives, I think we generally see that there is a value in art if anyone wants to pay for it. We're like, does somebody want to buy this? Is there a value in this? Then good. But Republicans, they tend to. I don't like the Republican Party. I have never been a Republican. I've always been a conservative, but not a Republican.
Right. Yeah. Well, see, it's like I'm conservative about some things, and I'm extremely liberal about others. You know.
Sounds like a libertarian, my dude.
Exactly. You know, that's the way I've always been. You know, it's like the one thing that attracted me about Christianity was like, you know, Jesus said love everybody, and I'm like, I'm down with that shit. You know.
Yeah, sure.
You know, the rest of the church stuff I can't fucking stand. But you know,
yeah.
You know,
how weird is it that Christianity gets such shit on when it's like you can be? I think I understand why Christianity gets shit on. I understand why
the proselytization. I mean, you know, that's what, you know, got me was people sticking shit in my face, telling me I was going to burn in hell because I didn't believe what they believed in. Man.
No, fuck off.
I believe in Jesus. I like Jesus. He's cool. Shut up. And they're like, no, you're not believing in Jesus the right way.
You gotta do it our way, man. No, fuck that so hard. Fuck that, man. I'm not a Christian. I'm an Odinist. Well, Altana is a sort of a joke, but like I actually am an Odinist. I'm a
I was explaining that to my wife. She said, what does that mean? And I was like, it took me 30 minutes to explain it to her.
To explain what Norse paganism is?
It's pre-Norse, isn't it?
It's just Norse.
Yeah, okay.
I believe in Odin and Thor and Freya and a lot of the Norse gods, and I do. And here's the thing, I was really sick, and I basically was like, I was trying to figure out, because I did a lot of research, and I found like, oh, people who have strong beliefs, they tend to do better. They're in less pain. I was like, okay, well, let me try it. So I tried every religion, man. I tried Christianity. I tried Judaism. I tried Islam. I tried every major. I tried Buddhism. I tried Zoroastrianism, and it's just like, you know what? What happened is that it just turned out that my dad at the same time was doing this research where he found that our family, when you look at my family tree, you go back to my 45th great grandfather. It's Odin, king of Asgard, as it's listed on the absolute end of our family tree. I said, that's the most awesome thing that I've ever seen.
That is crazy, man.
Because basically he traced our family back to the Shakespeares, who at some point got raped by some Scandinavians. And, so we're all really British, essentially, and Irish and Welsh, mostly Welsh. But, so it went back that far. I was like, that's freaking cool. And I'll become an Odinist. And it works for me. It works for me.
That's cool. Have you seen American Gods?
Mm-mm. I heard it's awesome.
That was awesome, man.
It's based on Neil Gaiman stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm a huge Gaimanite. I've got the entire Sandman run.
Great comic.
Yeah, you'd love my comic collection, man. I've got some awesome stuff, man. But I was thinking about opening my Patreon and some of the stuff that's worth more money. I was thinking about auctioning it off or doing a raffle with like some of the Patreons, like if they were like $20 a month and they've been in 6 months, like, for every 2 months they were in, I'd give them, 2 entries for the comic that's like worth $200 or something.
No. My comics, the ones that are worth the most to me, aren't necessarily worth a lot of. Actually, that's not true. I have Daredevil #7. I also have the Amazing Spider-Man, which I forget is 23. It's been a while, where Daredevil first makes an appearance. Those could never go to anyone but me. Those are like, that's mine for 5 evers. And those are like some of my I also have the very first appearance of Galactus in the Silver Surfer.
Oh, dude.
Fantastic Four 23 and 24, something like that. Those aren't going to anyone ever.
You got the Silver Age. Yeah. Well, see, I've got like, the entire, the first 9, I can't remember the name of anyways, Jessica Jones. Okay. Mm-hmm. I've got that. See, I could burn that shit tomorrow and it wouldn't bother me. It's stuff like that I'm thinking about doing that with, and it's worth a ton of money, man. I was just
dude, I've got Spider-Man #50, Amazing Spider-Man #50, which is the one where he throws the Spider-Man suit in the trash, and the iconic cover, which sometimes gets up to like $500,000 depending on the quality. I've got that one. And we're not parting with that.
I started reading that. I started reading Spider-Man during the Clone, right at the beginning of the Clone saga, right after the Punisher's first debut. The Punisher's the one that that pulled me into it.
A lot of people say that. A lot of people, the Punisher, I think, because he was he was the first real character that wasn't gonna follow the whole like I won't kill anybody thing.
Right. There were some paperback books with characters like that. There was like 2 or 3 of them, and I was a big freak on all that stuff. And that's exactly what drew me. Was the Punisher, and then I got into Spider-Man, that whole clone thing. But back then that was really the Deathlock, the Demolisher, the first Cyborg. See, I'm a cyborg. I've got 2 titanium hips. I've got I think it's a ceramic composite heart valve. I had dude. I had a
absolutely. From a transhumanist perspective, you are absolutely a cyborg.
Check this out. All right, the Friday before Thanksgiving. Before Christmas, right? The doctor, I'm in the last patient, and he says, this is literally exactly what he said to me. He goes, "Oh, you have an aortic aneurysm. You need heart surgery."
Oh, Jesus Christ.
I've got to go. That's exactly what he said. I'm sorry, but I got to go.
Wow. What a display of confidence, I guess.
Yeah, you got an aortic aneurysm. Merry Christmas. Love you.
Yeah, Jesus Christ.
But that kind of fucked with my head pretty bad. So so I am technically a cybernetic organism. I'm getting on up there.
Now, if you ask some transhumanists, I am a transhumanist. If you wear a watch, you're a cyborg. But you definitely are, my dude. If you've got, and people don't like that. They don't like the idea that, like, I get this from people where it's like they don't like the idea that, oh, hey, like you've got something that's been implanted in you yeah, it makes you a cyborg. We are going into cyborgic technology at an increasingly rapid rate in human society in general. It's okay, though. It's not something to be afraid of inherently.
Well, yeah, and I'm so fortunate. I live really close to a one of the best teaching hospitals in the Southeast.
Mm-hmm.
And the guy that did my valve, he's the pioneer of valve replacement through the leg.
Oh yeah, then you're in good hands.
Yeah, but he didn't do it. Of course, they did the whole, because of the aorta. They had to replace that too. So it's like I've got a plastic pipe that extends out of my heart up into right where it branches off. That's all plastic. It's I think
Shit.
what is it? Yeah, it's like a piece of hose.
That's fascinating, though. I'm gonna tell you this, though, my dude. This has been really interesting. I really gotta go work on my video. It's been like,
Well, you know what? I am so honored that you popped by, and
don't say shit like that. That makes me feel weird.
No, but I'm
be honored.
I had no idea. I would have been more prepared. But see those movies. Hit me up, on Twitter and DM whatever. I'm not going to bug you, okay? But
No. I've got 3 movies now to watch. I've got Raw, Martyrs, and Skin I Live In. I've got movies to watch tonight after I finish this video, or if I finish it, we'll see. I got a call with Dick Masterson tonight, which will be awesome. If anybody, I don't know. I actually don't even know where this was being recorded to, or being broadcast. Normally I interact with the chat, but whatever. I will be talking to Dick Masterson from The Dick Show tonight, so that episode of the podcast will be out on Tuesday.
Sweet. Well, I mean, that's excellent. But yeah, check out and let me know what you think about those, and we'll keep that dialogue open. Maybe do something in the future collab wise.
Absolutely.
Keep an eye. I look at your stuff all the time. Keep an eye open for my stuff. I'm trying to get more regular with my reviews and stuff, but the Raw is the first major review I've done, and I'm going to try to get deeper. So, but it's been great, and I appreciate you coming by.
Yeah, thanks for having me on.
And thanks, Vanilla Bear, for giving us a place to do this.
It's all right.
You're such a doll. She is a doll.
I've only had 3 hours sleep, so I'm doing pretty well with everything else.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks, both of you guys. Nice to talk to you all. And the right there. Thank you.
All right.
Nice to meet you. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Baden. All righty. What'd you think about that, Vanilla Bear?
Fascinated, because the line of work that I do, the elderly, it's still like the mental health and the breakdown of the brain, and trying to understand that as well, because it's still childlike behavior, and it's all different diseases are still connected to dementia.
Yeah, and that's something that I noticed is it's getting old is like the reverse process of growing up, as and the older we get, the more like infant-like we become. I noticed that when I visited my grandmother one time, it was really weird. We had talked about this before, with the spiritual stuff.
It is still like heart-wrenching, to see them, because I've been at my place for over nearly 2.5 years, and within the 2.5 years, you can see the decline, and I'm still trying to get my head around it now.
Has it happened to like somebody that you were really close to, that you had developed a relationship with?
Attached to quite a few. You shouldn't have your favorites, because it's not professional.
Right. But you can't help it. I mean, come on, man. It's like I had the same thing when I was working with kids, with adolescents, and it would I'd find out a year later that one of them had died or overdosed or some shit, you know, and it was just like, golly, man, that was so sad.
Yeah, because I worked with, through the year, I worked with young adults with severe autism. And even that, it's still physically and mentally draining because they're still like children, even though they're like between 18 and 24.
Yeah.
They still got the brain capacity of an 18-month-old.
And they're so and they're strong and I mean, you know,
God,
yeah, so you know, do you like have to like wear any kind of special protection or anything?
One of them, we had to wear a swimming cap and a hat, and your hair had to be hidden because he was a hair puller. And one night he did get one of the men, and it's, you know, in the film Titanic, you heard the ship creak. It sounded like that pulling his hair, and oh, that knocked me sick.
Was that the noise it made?
Yeah, the lad that pulled the lad's hair, it sounded like the creaking of the Titanic, you know, on the film.
Yeah.
It was about to break. That's what it sounded like.
Wow. It's a little alarming.
Yeah. I was lucky I wasn't in the way. Because I'm only 5'3", so, and he's like nearly 6 foot. So, but he's a big cuddly bear, really.
You're so sweet. You know, irate bear is a lucky male.
It's not.
Is he asleep? Is he asleep now?
I think he's on Sinatra's live stream.
Okay. Okay. Well, how long have we been streaming? I don't even know how long we've been going. It says an hour here.
I think it's just a little over an hour.
I thought it was longer than that.
Yeah.
Well, I see, and I don't know what I did wrong the first time, you know, because I had Google Hangouts and we were talking and the thing went, you know, it went live, but it was not broadcasting anything. And I don't know what I did wrong because I had done it before. You know, I had done like 4 test runs before, you know, for setting this up. So I have no idea how I screwed it up, man. So maybe we can talk Alex into helping me out on that because it's just like I don't know what I did wrong. And you came to my rescue. You're such a doll. You're such a doll. Yeah, we Suzanne and I saw, my wife, we saw a picture, a better picture of you on the internet. Well, you know, it's like when y'all did your anniversary thing, you were sitting like kind of in the corner in the back, you know, and I really couldn't see it, but you're so pretty, you know. Alex and I both, man, we lucked out. We hooked up with some pretty birds, as they say. That's
Cockney. You're like bird.
Yeah, that's what drunken uncle. He was. I picked that word up from him, kind of. Did you ever watch his stuff?
I've only spoken to him as I've been passing. You know,
he's hilarious.
But I was trying to explain, but they got the mick out of me. How he speaks, he's like Russell Brand.
Oh yeah.
To me, it's listening to Russell Brand.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, he's even got that that tone, that higher tone of voice.
Yeah. But he had me laughing. It makes me but I'm crying. I'm in hysterics.
Russell Brand is funny. He's a funny guy. His politics are fucked, but he's those people in Hollywood. They don't live in reality.
He's actually a recovering drug addict.
Yeah, I know.
And he's gone back to college, hasn't he? He's gone back to university to just. I can't remember what he's studying, but he's become a dad as well. So he's.
That'll straighten your ass up there, man.
Yeah, before I met there, I did 4 years at college. So I did 2 years of equine, or in your case, equine.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I loved it.
So were you riding horses and stuff?
Yeah, I was. The first year I did a foundation level.
Were you doing like English? Were you doing like English riding with the course and everything?
Yeah, we did the show jumping, dressage.
Right, and the hair, the hat, and the boots and everything. Yeah, those are nice. That.
Tell you what is the best saddle, which you probably think I'm a traitor with being American. The Australian stock saddle.
Oh.
It's similar to the Western saddle, but it doesn't have is it the pommel?
Yeah, the little knob on top.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. That's for the Americans. They wrap their ropes around that when they're wrestling critters.
I do want to ride in the American saddle, the Western saddle.
Yeah. Do they have? Go ahead.
In the Australian stock saddle, it's like sitting on a cushion.
Right.
And it's so comfy. It's actually a lot better for my back than the general purpose saddle and the jumping saddle. The dressage saddle is okay, but sitting with a straight back doesn't really help my back. So it's a bit painful for me. So
the Aussie saddle's got some cushion to it. Because it's like I remember I rode horses like when I was a kid, and those saddles were just they're just leather, hard leather. It was like bouncing up and down on a piece of wood or something.
Yeah.
Like my butt would hurt. Yeah, I didn't know how to ride. I didn't know how to how to do the rhythm or anything. The way how you move and stuff.
Yeah.
I was shitty at it.
Your type of riding's more bouncy than our type of riding.
Right.
Because we call it the sitting trot. Yours is called something else.
Yeah, I'm totally ignorant when it comes to that kind of stuff. My sister, she was into horses. You guys could probably talk all night long.
Yeah. But you're more bouncier in your seat than what we are. We have to be light in the saddle and not bounce on the back as much.
Right. It was like you kind of stand up a little bit, don't you, on the stirrups?
No.
You're not supposed to?
The only time you come out of the saddle, to stand up if you're jumping.
Oh, I see. Okay. That makes sense.
Because it's more pressure on the horse because you're more on their forehand than what you are on the quarters. So, like, the front legs, you're putting more weight on the front than what you're doing to the back legs. So we don't do that as.
So you get opportunities to ride now?
I'm thinking of going back because I did it for quite a while. I broke in horses, which was absolutely fun to do.
Oh, wow.
I broke in about 12.
So how did you learn how to do that? That takes some like ability.
Yeah, it's
to do it properly.
Patience as well. I was doing it since I was like 14. And my cousin had horses, and he's like, "Oh, I've got a horse for you to ride." I was like, "Oh God, okay." So it started from there.
That's cool. Do you have any like film of you doing that or anything? That might be something to put up on YouTube.
Yeah, I've got a little clip. It's on my phone. I'll have to upload it. But the one that I'm riding is a coloured cob called Jack, and it was so funny. If he was eating his hay, I'll stand by the door and go, "Do you want your bum smacked?" And he'll turn around, back up to the door, and he'll let you smack his bum. So it was part of the kinky side. He liked the kinky side, bless him. And I took him to a first show. We just lost our like best horse, my mate's horse. Oh, we loved him to bits. And I said, right, let's take him to the show. Let's focus on something, positive. And I didn't really go there to win anything. I just thought, take him out, get him experience of being out of the field, and we'll do in hand. And the first one my first class I went into, I got a third. The second class I went into, I got a second. But you couldn't whip him to get him to trot. You had to literally put your hand out and waft the whip.
Oh.
And because that's how I taught him. I didn't like hitting him with the whip, so I did the waft so he could hear it and he knew he had to trot. And they said on the third class, get him up against the fence and get him to trot. So I was like, right, okay. So got him prepared, got him in a forward walk. So as soon as my arm come out, he knew to trot. And I got him to trot, and it was Billy Big Steps running with him because he went for it. And I'm thinking, right, okay, I've got him to trot. How the hell am I going to slow down? And there's a corner coming up, and I'm thinking, oh my God, I'm not going to stop him. And I managed to stop him, but he was heavy on my arm, so my arm was killing me, trying to slow him down and everything else. And we got a first. And if you come first and second, you had to go back in. So basically to get champion or reserve champion. So there's me like, oh my God, I've got these rosettes. I've got to go back in again. And we were walking round, and they pulled this little pony in that got champion. And I'm just walking around, just like minding my own business as you do, but making sure I'm not near these other horses that can get kicked. And they're going, oh, can we have the coloured cob in? And I'm going, where's his bloody coloured cob? Looking round, looking like an idiot, and it's me, and it's got this coloured cob. And as we're turning in, because everyone's shouting, it's you. And I'm like, right, okay, walking in. Me and him looked at each other and we're like, oh, no, not trot again. But, oh, it was just like amazing. We ended it on a high, even though we lost our best horse, like.
Well, I think, that's, I mean, what are you going to do,
I'm just going to pay for go out on a hack.
Yeah.
And just have a blast. Just go for mad gallop. Down the bridle paths, I think.
That sounds fun.
It is. Out of all the things that I can do, I can, draw to take my mind off things. But going to the horses, it's like a different bubble.
Yeah, you and my sis would get along excellent. She was so good at doing her thing, and she did some English writing, but she was pretty much just a freestyle, but mostly Western. But that's. She tried to do the barrel stuff. Have you ever seen that?
Yeah, I was about to say I love the barrel racing because you just go hell for leather, don't they?
Yeah, she tried it like twice and fell off. She didn't do it after that, But yeah, that's
it's them turns on a sixpence, and I'm like, look, watching them, and I can actually feel myself feeling sick as I'm watching it on the TV. I'm like, how can you do that?
I know it looks. I mean, you know, the way they make it look like it's, you know, it's real easy, but you know that it's just like
it's more to do with your seat.
Yeah.
And voice commands as well, because dressage is a bit like that. It's through your seat.
Right.
And if you just happen to lift one bum cheek up, or, you know, while you're sitting, it's like not what you're asking for.
Right.
But it's I love it because I can just switch off.
Yeah. Would you mind excusing me briefly? I have to hit the loo.
No, it's okay.
Is it? Okay. You're so sweet. All right, hold on.
And how's the chat doing? Anyone want to ask any questions? I'm good. In a bit of pain, I got injured at work, hugging a resident and my shoulder cracked. But I'm having alcohol to get rid of the pain. God, Pikachu, I haven't got 20p. Not for you. Because you called me a chav. I do get back pain. Having kids and having loads of horse riding accidents is probably not the best thing.
Ta-da! I'm back.
That was quick.
Well, I told you it was. I was in dire need of visitation there. Man, oh, I feel lighter. My back teeth were floating. Oh, well, I wish more people had shown up, but you know, it's the stream went great, and I am just I'm at a loss. You know, you're so sweet.
I said to Bear that I've adopted you as my dad.
Hey, feel free. You are my youngin'. You are my youngin'. All right.
Yeah. I like that.
You get whatever you want. All right. So if he gives you any shit, just
I'll just break his nose again.
Oh, was that you that did that?
Yeah.
Is that how y'all? Is that the hit that met y'all?
No. The first time I met him, I threatened him with a spade and a screwdriver because I didn't know who he was. Because like my mum's always taught me that if a stranger comes up to you, you hit them and you run. So
I hear you.
Yeah, I literally took it. And the front part of his nose, I was lying on the bed with my knees up, so they were bed, but my feet were on the mattress. And he turned the light off and dived on the bed, and his hand hit my middle bits, and my knee went into his mouth. Broke his nose at the front. That was pumping with blood. So,
dang.
Yeah, Won't do that again.
You know what that made me think of? There's a video, I think you put it up, of him doing Superman.
Yeah.
With your little boy. That brought back so many memories, man. My dad would do that with me, and I would be flying like Superman, you know. So that's just so darling to watch. You know,
it was being a right little monster before I videoed that. Oh, he was being a pain in the backside, my youngest. Oh. And then it actually quietened him down after Daddy did the airplane, the Superman with him. But he's got so much energy. I think he's going through a growth spurt because he's eating me from house and home.
Oh yeah, he probably is. Then he looks just like Alex.
Oh, I'll have to DM you, but the baby pitch with me is like the spit of me as well. Yeah,
you know, that's probably when he's near you. He probably looks like you. You know, I see people, so I'll do that occasionally. Yeah,
my eldest, he's like 12, and his voice keeps breaking every now and again.
Oh yeah. He's like is he redheaded?
Yeah, he's a proper carrot.
That's right. That's my wife is too. Well, she would tell you that carrots have green tops, because that's what she was taught when she was a little girl. She said it's the roots that are the orange color.
He's actually blonde underneath.
Oh, really?
Blonde, yeah.
Yeah, you've got kind of a little strawberry in your hair, don't you?
That's peroxide in the hair. Yeah, I was actually born with brown hair, and then it went to auburn.
Oh wow!
So I'm not
auburn hair is pretty. Well, yeah, auburn hair's got that red. You know, when the sun hits it right, you know, it's that red halo. It's nifty.
Yeah, I've got the temper to go with it.
I bet. I bet. I can imagine you and Alex throwing down, man. That's like something I would probably run from.
We've not actually, to come to think about it, we don't really argue. We have debates.
That's understandable. Yeah, that sounds like me and the missus. You know, we've never even touched each other out of anger. You know, she has hit me on the shoulder a couple of times, but I deserve that. You know, hey, I can be a proper asshole when it comes to it, you know.
I think we all can be one of them, can't we?
Yeah, I'm notoriously good at it, though, at times.
Yeah, like we're not at each other for arguing, it's more play fighting.
Yeah.
Someone gets hurt. But he is funny when he goes off on one. I have to laugh at him.
Yeah.
Because he trips over and it makes it more funny.
Yeah. Do y'all watch Game of Thrones?
Yes, I'm staying up to watch that.
Yeah.
It's on 2:00 here.
Oh, okay. So that's what, in an hour?
An hour and a half. Well, less than an hour and a half.
Yeah, it's just under, yeah. Sweet. I saw an advanced run of it that was released, but it was a dirty copy. It wasn't high def or anything. So
there is one that is going on YouTube, not on YouTube, on Twitter. I sent it there.
Yeah.
the fight that's probably going to happen.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I can send you that. It's a good copy. I was just scrolling through a lot of stuff.
Yeah. So what's the people in the live chat doing? Let's see. Got Opalescence Moonchild, God Pikachu, and Viper Sword. You still there, Viper? I guess she split. Well, you want to wrap it up, doll?
I could wrap it up, then I can try and sort my shoulder out. It's giving me a bit of jip.
Oh. Yeah, you know, it's really weird, man. Mine's popping now. And I'll like pull on it on my chair and it'll go pop right out. I got to sleep on it. Like, you know how you like do when you rest your arm on the, like on the arm, you put your hand on it. Like, I think I'm doing that. I fall asleep in my chair and I think I'm doing that, and, you know, leaning on it. And I think that's what's giving it to me. It hurts. But I'm a big wimp. I'm a big baby.
I just crack and then I end up, I think the muscles just go into spasm. And...
Well, you need to get your man to give you a proper rub down.
Oh, that's torture. I'd rather be in pain than have torture.
Oh. But it just hurts too much to try to relax it, or? Yeah,
I think because I've only had 3 hours sleep, I've not had a good night's rest.
God bless you. Get some sleep, sweetie.
Oh, I will. Once I've watched Game of Thrones.
Yeah, exactly. See, the Boo-Boo, when she gets home, she'll tomorrow we won't do anything because she works 3 days in a row, and then like her first day off, she'll rest and sleep. She'll sleep late, and then she'll get up and she'll rest, and we'll watch stuff on YouTube probably all day long.
Yeah, I was only in last night, so I tend to not have a lot of sleep, so I can get back in my sleep pattern again.
Oh.
But I can sleep. You can put me out on the washing line and I'll be asleep. I'm having a monster.
I was going to say, is that everything okay?
Yeah, I was just opening the box because they normally come in the plastic. Wrapper.
Are you on a laptop?
Yeah.
Okay.
With my earphones in.
I see. Got no reverb or anything like that. Sounds good. It sounds real good.
That made me jump again.
Yeah, I like talking like that. It's that FM radio voice. We're having a good night, y'all. Yeah, baby. My name's Tyrone McJaw, and I want to let y'all know that everything cool. We're gonna have a good fun time tonight. And Twitter. Oh, you tweet shit out. Oh, that is skill.
Yeah, I've done it, and
See, I've still got a flip phone. I have still got a flip phone, man. This thing is old as hell, but it works. I don't like to be tracked by my government. But then who am I kidding?
Do you have one of them disposable phones?
No, it's not disposable. It's on a plan with my wife and everything. It's just I don't know. I just hadn't gotten a smartphone yet. I'm like way behind the times here.
Yeah, I've got a smartphone because I have to do loads of little questions to do with my work, you know, like infection control and everything. And doing my health and social care. I'm on the last bit of it now, so I've not got long. And then I finished it. Yay.
Oh, cool.
I was being assessed on Friday and I passed it straight away. So
Sweet. So where they have you all studying stuff online?
I have I'm under a college for my health and social care.
Okay.
And I'm doing dementia for my diploma.
That'll help you get a little more moolah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know quite a bit of it now. 'Cause like my mum used to work in care, so she's like got a level 3.
Right.
So she's basically been my teacher, and I've learned things, on the job. Oh. What else was I gonna say? Oh, everyone at work hates me because they have to do it.
Yeah, because you're probably setting a high bar.
Yeah.
Well, that's their tough shit.
Yeah, because I was at college. I've already got an MVQ in maths and English, and because they've not got like the low end, like the level 1 for maths and English, which is a key skill.
Right.
They've got to do a maths and English test, so I've got out of it.
Man.
So I'm the jammy one.
Well, hey.
So that's one less thing for me to try and remember.
I mean, it's like, who are you going to apologize for being smart? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, I did 4 years. I did equine. I did 2 years of animal care. So I did small animals.
Were you thinking about being a vet, going into veterinary?
Yeah, but no.
Were you going to just specialize in horses and do it that way? Or?
Well, I wanted to do the science side of it.
Right. Yeah, okay. That would be cool. Yeah.
So learning more. No, because it's all right knowing about yourself, for the anatomy and how you work. I wanted to know how they work.
Right.
So say, like we all know, if you can't put a Jack Russell pregnant with a dog that's massive, because it will just kill the Jack Russell, because it's, nature.
Right.
Even though when I had my dog, he was Jack Russell cross Labrador, and the mother was a Jack Russell. And she had 6 of them, naturally. So that should have killed her.
Man.
So it's like the Scientology of that, and bone structure, and
that's cool.
How their insides work. Did it work different to ours, or was it the same? Because I had to dissect a rat at one point on my course.
Yeah.
At college. Dissected a heart. So what you were saying, about your stent that you've got in.
Yeah.
I had to do not a demonstration. What's it called now? Is it a demonstration? Presentation I had to do on the heart on a horse.
Dude, they're huge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And which side would be the oxygenated side and which would be the deoxygenated side, and I had to use my hands to show how it went round.
Yeah.
And then come back again.
Boom, it goes to the lungs, and then boom, it goes back out, and then boom, it's out. Yep. It goes in and out, bonk, bonk, bonk. Yep.
And then I dissected a heart as well.
Yeah, with the chambers and the and the valves and stuff.
Yeah, that was quite fascinating to look at because my friend died of cardiomyopathy, so I could see what they mean by one side being enlarged.
Yes.
So that fascinated me. So I was like, oh, well, it must have been this bit then. And
yeah. It's usually that left ventricle that gets larger. Yeah, I got to go to my doctor and get my yearly echo, you know, where they see what it looks like. That's, you know, it's been doing all right lately.
Good.
Yeah, if you listen to it, it goes a tick like a clock.
Yeah, because it won't be a normal sound with it flexing.
Right, it's that ceramic valve shutting, you know, and opening and shutting.
Yeah,
it's crazy. It was like last Christmas. Everybody was like listening to my heart for Christmas. Right, at the Christmas thing, like, oh wow, it sounds like a watch. I was like, yeah, okay.
The thing that fascinates me is the pacemaker.
Yeah.
How it can be like an extra brain through the heart, and it's all electronic and stuff.
Yeah. See, when I got out of that surgery, my rhythm, I was having a really bad arrhythmia. And there's this thing they do now instead of giving you a pacemaker. Initially, I would have gotten a pacemaker, right?
Yeah.
But the new medicine now is that they've got this little miniature cauterizing thing, and they put it through your leg, and they go inside your heart, and they scar, and it's like the width of a hair. And they scar around it, and they scar the path where the signal, the electrical signal goes that keeps it beating in rhythm, you know.
I think I've seen it on one of the hospital programs. They
call it an ablation.
Yeah.
And you know, he said, you know, you might have some arrhythmia, you know, when you get out of it, but after 2 weeks, it should be okay. And it was like 3 and 4 weeks. I could tell my heart was like going, you know, and doing all kinds of crazy shit. And then one day it was just like boom, 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 boom. You know, it's just in regular time, and it hadn't really messed up since then, man. It's weird. It was weird.
It's like, was it like having like palpitations?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's exactly what it was doing. But it was like the atrium. It was like the top half of it doing it. The bottom half was beaten in, you know, in rhythm, but the top half was the part that was messing up. And when he did that, you know, after he did that, it fixed it. It's pretty nifty.
All that stuff fascinates me. I'm like, yeah.
Me too. Yeah.
Because I had to do 4 weeks at the vets, and the amount of operations that I watched, I was like, Jesus. I'm all right for go, but the sound of moving guts about, I was like, oh God. And a dopamine coming because I had a fatty tumour underneath its teeth. So the vet cut like a leaf shape around it and managed to move it, but they had the veins, the small vessels going through it. And as he's cutting away, he nipped one of the vessels. And it's a good job I was stood in line with the dog's bumhole, because I would have been covered.
Oh wow! Well, see, when they did my open heart surgery, they had to cool me down to, like, I guess it would be like in Celsius, it would be 6 degrees.
Oh yeah, it's fit. Yeah.
Yeah, roughly 6 degrees.
Yeah.
And You know, so they have to cool you down like that. And do they do that with horses? Make it, you know, might have to make it real cold in there.
No, they do a normal sedation.
Right.
But because horses don't lie down for long.
Right.
They basically it's time, but they still have to check, you know, the temperature and everything else. Trying to think now, because I know with castration they just sedate them and then it's like a nutcracker that you hold down for 30 seconds and it just drops off.
Yeah, but yeah, okay. What is it? Pigs? Yeah, they put like rubber bands around it.
That's sheep.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, and they just fall off. Yeah.
I think they do with the bulls.
Yeah. That's so
Yeah,
mean.
you do it with the. You know what? They don't feel it.
Well, yeah. You know, because if you don't do it though, they start acting like, you know, they get all like male and shit, and they'll hurt somebody or something.
Yeah. The best one. I know I shouldn't be saying this, but it was so funny. We had to watch, you know, because I was on animal care. We had to watch this boy get on, you know, the female, and I'm in hysterics because you could see the pig was like struggling to try and get on. And when he finally got on, they had to, you know, get the sperm sample. And I went, "You are really, really shady. You can see he's fat and he struggled to get on his bitch, and then you go and grab it and didn't even get a proper look." Oh, that was it. That was just like, yeah. But I'm really, really bad because I forget to think before I open my mouth, and I've done it while I was pregnant, and I've done it again after I had my son. And they did an autopsy on one of the pigs and the piglet, but this pig, every time they cut the stomach, it kept inflating again.
Oh. And
there was two girls that stood there going, "Oh my God, this is horrible, you shouldn't be doing it." And like, "This is animal rights, sisters." And I turned around, looked at them and went, "You what? Animal rights?" I said, "He's not tortured the bloody pig." I said, "He's doing an autopsy, so how can it be torture?"
Exactly.
And I said, "Have you seen horror films?" And she was like, "Yeah." And I said, "It's just like watching the TV. What are you moaning for?"
Right. Yeah. They weren't very bright, were they?
Oh, God. Some of them I could have happy slapped.
I hear you. I hear you. We say they're dumber than dirt.
Oh, yeah. I've heard my cousin say that. But it's just terrible.
Yeah.
Right, should we end it?
Yeah, you get 10 minutes till Game of Thrones for you.
It's another hour.
Oh, that's right. Okay. I was thinking, oh, man. Anyway. Embarrassed again.
Oh, we can always talk in chat and I'll cut it off for you.
That's right. I appreciate it. You're so sweet.
All right. And see ya.
All righty. And want to thank you for hosting this thing, and thank everybody that showed up, Alex and Aiden Paladin, along with the lovely Vanilla Bear. This is irate prostate saying Daterludes. I'm out.
Bye.